Go.
Hey, did I do it right?
Yeah. Actually, I think we're live right now. So hold on. Let me go ahead and share this on Facebook, guys. And can you hear me pretty good?
No, but we're too dark here. What does she do? It's got.
We can't see you.
Let's say Facebook. What are you doing?
Oh, you can't see me? I can see you guys pretty good. What did you guys press? Are you on a phone or on a regular device?
We're on an iPad, and there's a screen up here that says Facebook and all that. I guess I need to click on that to get it to go away.
Oh, yeah. Probably. That's what you need to do. You want to press the Facebook? Just press Facebook thing, because I was going to do that anyway. But we're going to go live as soon as you do that.
Okay, I see you now. What do I need to do?
All right, hold on. Yeah, so let me look and make sure we just shared it live. So 1 second. 1 second. Can you guys hear me pretty good though?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I can hear you guys perfect too. So hold on, I'm just gonna go check on the Facebook page. And if anyone's listening right now, we'll be right with you guys right now. We're just double checking that we're sharing this on Facebook also, but this is actually streaming live right now on the Pitch Investors Live app. So we are I'm going to take a pitch right now from Dennis. This is going to be like a really unique opportunity. If you guys don't know what Pitch Investors Live is, basically we are the only app in the world that allows entrepreneurs and startups to pitch investors live, streaming on our app, which you can find both on the iOS store, Android store, and then you guys can also find it now on the PWA, meaning that any device can now have this, which is amazing. This is actually what I'm on right now. So I'm excited to hear what Dennis has to say, because this is an industry that I was a huge part of for a long time. And I was excited when I heard more about this project. So let's go ahead and give me 1 second. Let me double check that we're live on Facebook. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it live on my end.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Am I in a shadow or anything?
I mean, you're a little dark. There's a little bit of darkness, but you should be good. So, all right. I think we should be good to go, though. All right, boom. Okay, so we're live. So, super excited to have here Dennis. If nobody knows who I am, I'm Jonathan Foltz. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm actually one of the co-founders of Pitch Investors Live. I'm an accredited investor. So have invested into different projects and such. And I am definitely very much wanting to hear the pitch, because there's an industry that I was in, and that was actually one of my first big sales of my companies actually in 2016, which was a company called Breeder Circle. And I sold the company in 2016 to one of my business partners. So I was a part of this industry, leader in the industry, socially and everything like that. So I would love to hear what exactly, Dennis, you have and everything like that. So go ahead and give me basically your pitch and tell me what you're looking to do with this business and what you're looking to get basically for whatever offering you have.
Well, Jonathan, let me start here. My name is Dennis Magee, and I've been in the herp world, let's put it that way, for about 65 years. I caught my first snake 65 years ago at 11 years old, so that you can do the math. But back then, it was a whole different world when it came to keeping reptiles and so on and so forth, and to keep them healthy and so on. It is a tremendous thing today for the herpetoculturists and all those that keep reptiles. I'm so thrilled that we've advanced so far. But it's been my desire all my life. I've been in real estate. I've been a developer. I've owned restaurants and various things, a lumber company, you name it. But I finally have gotten to this, what a final glide path type thing in a big picture. I'm talking about great health. I found the property in downtown, right in the historic district. And I decided, okay, that's the property for the reptile garden. And so I bought the property. I've got a great idea for this is a family-oriented. I've got to go there. Let me just go here. This is a family-oriented, entertaining reptile and a mix. We even have birds of prey. The falconers of Arkansas are going to do a weekly show. We're going to have lizards, of course, and turtles, and you name it. It's not just this is not a roadside snake exhibit. Okay, let's put it that way. This is for the family. We have tremendous amount of families come here. And we've got the big water park and all that out there. And then there's nothing for the children to do in the downtown historic district. And I'm right there at the very entrance to it, the northern entrance to the downtown historic district and Bathhouse Row, famous Bathhouse Row. So we get approximately, 6-7 million people here in Hot Springs every year, tourists we're talking about. The downtown is, in that 3 million range, probably 2.5 to 2.7 is the latest Chamber of Commerce. So we've got people that when they walk down that historic district, they stop. And if the gardens was open and it was sitting there, they would walk right to it because they turn around and go back down the other side of the street. Nothing to see or anything. But I'm just trying to get a picture here of it's for the community also, because I'm going to get, of course, work with the schools and all that. I've already got that arranged, even with.
And that's a very important part right there. Like building the community around it. Yep.
Within a block and a half across the street is the math and science and arts
nice.
School.
Okay. The prime location, good. Like you specifically picked out this location, or did you find this location?
No, I've looked at it every day because I drove past it coming home, and I've seen it was never for sale. And finally, when the hotel sold, he split because he owned all the property there. I have a 78 parking lot in the front door, right in the front door between me and the hotel. Yeah. And it's a pay lot, but right now the hotel is under renovation. So there's no parking there hardly at all. They get a few people that park in there, but it's going to be, I'm going to work a deal with him. He's going to give me validated parking half price. That means you could park there for $2.50 for 24 hours.
Oh, love it.
Can't beat that. It's $10. I'm serious. Yeah. The great location. It's the location. Let's put it that way for big time. But it's going to be 28,000 square foot under roof, climate controlled for all seasons. It's going to be there's going to be also a research library, which I've gotten all of my old buddies that they're still with us, but they are all giving me their libraries. I mean, I'm turning down libraries right and left.
And libraries in what sense also? What do you mean in libraries? What is it, educational content?
To the public, this is on a second floor level that I've designed because I want a museum on the second floor, and the cases won't take up that much room on that floor. So I'm going to use the back part of that as a library, a depository for these great books and so on and so forth. I'm a book fella. I come from the old school. We didn't have all that back then.
You're like me because I am a book fanatic. I love books. I have a big library. If you look on my desk, I literally have probably about 50 books stacked around it just because I love it. And I love old books too, anything sacred or really old is I always try to go to antique bookstores and everything like that because I absolutely love it. So I'm right there with you on that. I'm a big fan of books. I think we're leaving your audio for a second. Are you still there?
Yeah, I've got it.
There we go. You're back.
Yeah.
You're back. Okay.
But the library really is not going to be open to the public. That's going to be, they'll be able to walk up to the doors and look in at the big, and I need a conference room anyway, so that we'll have a large conference table in it for my staff meetings and whatever. But the library is going to be, I'm tying it into all of the different schools, and we did have one community college here and another college. So we got college people that want to come in for extra credits and do things, certain research, whatever. So they can, get on the list and come and only work there. Probably 6 at a time will be max for somebody for the groups.
Yeah.
But I get the community involved. That's the thing I want to do. Is get the schools and the parents and all of then the tourists, of course. We pull from 150-mile radius here anyway, and there's quite a few million people in that, all the way from Little Rock, Memphis. We go.
And I would say, in the reptile community, one of the things that was so important was the herpetologists and the herpetology and like the traders, the sellers, you know, the enthusiasts in general. Is the community coming together is huge. And, you know, like with the type of opportunity, the reason it's like very intriguing to me is because we don't have a lot of things like that. I think we used to have, like down here in South Florida, we had like a serpentarium, and then they shut it down. You know, like there had like a couple accidents, but they had a lot of like venomous stuff in there. And it was like, it was very interesting dynamic. Oh, I think we lost you on your video, by the way.
Oh, really? I can see you and me. I can see my.
Yeah, let me see if we can see it on here for 1 sec. Let me see. Yeah, I think maybe we can still see you. Still like streaming, I guess. Hold on. Yeah. So I think it's still good. I think unless someone gives me a thing, go ahead and you can keep on, because it looks like it's still coming up. I just can't see you on my screen here, but go ahead.
I see you and I both.
Okay, cool.
But I years ago, of course, I was the president of Florida Herpetological Society in the mid 70s up until 80, 81. And used to be very active with some of the, you know, the old herps, let's put it that way. I worked personally and was partners with Ross Allen in his last days. He died just before we opened Alligator Town USA Theme Park, Lake City, Florida. I was his partner and assistant director in that. And it was sad that he passed away. We got it open. It didn't last a lot of years, but it a few years. And I don't know whether that had anything to do with it. It was a neat park, but it lost its flavor, I think, only because Ross died. It was. I hate to get into that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the things that like was there for, and then it was kind of like a big deal when that happened. And like, you know, like the theme park, one of the things about theme parks, and you'll see this like with some of the biggest theme parks in the world, they also spend a lot of money, and including actually one of my uncles is like, he runs the department at the Cincinnati Zoo for the botanical gardens, and he does a lot of stuff up there. And Cincinnati Zoo is one of the most known zoos on the planet. You know, that's actually where, if anyone knows, Harambe basically died. Like, he was there for that, you know? So he's been in that zoo forever. And one of the things that they spend a lot of money on in order to keep people coming back in, and this is very important for you to know, is on new exhibits. So in order to keep people coming back in, they are constantly always literally looking for new ways to bring new and innovative stuff. And they're working on some like really crazy stuff, like a new penguin exhibit. And then they're working on a new, I think it's an elephant exhibit. So while a lot of places are actually closing down elephant exhibits, you know, they're kind of like, they're very innovative. And I think this is why they've stayed one of the most popular zoos in the world and the most renowned ones in the zoos, is that they're really good at, you know, coming up with innovative ways. And it's preservation too. Like, it's not just about, hey, we're doing this to bring in massive income and money. You know what I mean? Like, what they're doing is they're trying to find ways to preserve the animals and literally have the best upkeep for them. Do a lot of research, and they have to have money to do that. That's just the truth of the reality. Just like your project now, like, it's cool and like to do something for the community, but without it making money, like, how can you even take it? So, yeah.
One of the things, I used to work at Staten Island and do with Carl Caulfield, of course, and we went on different. It was exciting, man. It was great years. I actually named his second book, The Keeper and the Kept.
Wow.
Yeah, but then I worked at the Cincinnati Zoo under Ed Maresca back then.
No way.
Was director. Yeah, I worked there actually twice, and then I was under Lou Pistoia at the Columbus Zoo. So I was in that in my earlier years, and then got out of it. Actually, I wasn't. It was all civil service thing, and you're not making that kind of money that I wanted to make, you know, and be able to travel around and reptile hunt and do all these things. So I was constantly moving around after that. And then if I wanted a job, I could always go to a zoo, it looked like. Let's put it
Yeah. But there's also backing there. Okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
So let's go ahead. I would like to ask you some questions, right? So I'm hearing a little bit about the story. So now I want to know, I want to get down to the numbers, right? So like, what we like to do is we like to figure out how exactly this is going to work. So like, whenever an investor is giving up money, for a potential project, or going into their basically their resources and their friends' pockets. There's like angel investor groups and everything like that. As much as they can love a project, like it has to make sense through the numbers. So I would like to get a little bit into the numbers of like, what exactly are you looking for? What is the offer that basically you want to throw out? Okay, so it's not only just the cool thing about pitch is that we've had a lot of these deals actually happen off platform. So a lot of people watch these pitches and then they'll contact you directly. So I'm going to ask you at the very end to just give a little bit of your information out in general so people could reach out to you. Just be careful. I don't know if you want to put your phone number out there, but email is probably one of the ways to do it, website and such. But let's dive into the numbers. I really want to know the numbers because that's what makes things work. And as much as I'm a creative and an innovative, like numbers are important to me. So tell me about your ask. What are you asking right now? How much money do you need? What are you going to be using this money?
This project is basically a $4 million project. I have at this time half the money right this minute. So I'm looking for
notes, by the way.
Two.
I do it, so I'm paying attention, but I'm taking notes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm looking for about $2 million in dollars. I have two properties purchased, and what we're looking at here is because of I went to the SBA early on. When I say that, it's only been a month or two now, but I'm in there. They okayed all my spreadsheets with the bank. The bank, I've got all the information from the bank where they split the banks and the SBA together and all that. I have all those figures, and I have spreadsheets for everything from concession to cost of goods to revenue, how many people that I suggested or I'm thinking will attend this. Heck, it's so small I could cut the attendance, or the revenue in half, and it's still profitable. That's the SBA checked it all out. They're so excited. I went through the city, all of the city departments. I have it on letter form, have signed off every department. Everybody from the board of directors, the city directors have okayed this project, saying that this is what we need in downtown Hot Springs. I have really gotten a package together now. And I just have started this because it took about 4 or 5 months to get through SBA for them to even process me. And then when I finally got in the chute with them, and I did this for an option for the investors. Some investors would have wanted this whole thing to go in maybe an SBA if they qualified in that respect. I'm finding out that they overqualified.
So did you get the 2 million? Is the 2 million self-funded? Is it friends and family, or is it from the SBA? Like, where did the $2 million come from that you have?
SBA. It's just an option but I can't do it now because the investor I have now doesn't want to be in the SBA, doesn't want to do that. He's got the cash. And this is an opportunity zone also. I don't know if you've read about some of the opportunity zones across the country, but each state was given through the federal government a tax incentive for certain, each state. The city of Hot Springs got 3, and I'm in the first one right there. So it is a big deal for tax write-off. For investors. Anyway, it doesn't have anything to do with SBA now. Put that out of your mind because they're not in it. They're not going to be involved in it.
What about the investor? Like, has he already put up the money, or is he just saying that he's going to have the money? Like, how does that work?
Okay.
Sorry, there's a plane going through. So I'm outside, guys. There's a plane. So 1 sec. I don't know if you could mute this here. You can't. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry about that. There was a plane going by.
In contact and I'm almost daily with the embassy in Washington, D.C. The money is coming from overseas. It's already in the transfer through the banking system, the international banking, trading crown and euro into U.S. dollars. So that's coming, and it certainly is going to be here. I mean, I know it is because we have an attorney here. I'm talking to a bunch of different people that, verify the fact.
Yeah.
That
And then how much
coming.
money? I'm sorry, I don't know if you said it already because it was the plane was going through, but how much money is that?
Okay. Well, he's getting quite a bit more money than what he's going to be investing with me, but $2 million is pledged to me, and this project.
$2 million. Okay, and it's an opportunity zone. So let's talk about like the entrance fees. And are you going to be basically one of the things I love when I get into things I love, and I've done this with some of my successful ventures. Even some of my ventures that have failed. It's called business inception, right? So business inception is when you have a business within a business within a business. So what I want to know from you, what are the monetizable steps that you're going to be taking? Obviously, there's like the tickets to come inside. So what else? I don't know if you're going to get any money from the parking, maybe not, because those guys are just giving you a discount. So how else are you guys going to monetize this? What's the plan of action?
Well, okay, the parking thing, it's possible that we may purchase the parking lot. That's what I'm looking at right now and talking with the investor about. But yes, we have, I would like to, let's see if I pick this up. Let me see. Sarah, I don't know if you can help me, but I think I can do this. If I can walk around here, that don't work. How can I take a picture of the drawings here? The big, how can I do that? Can I turn this around? Looks like it. Looks like I can.
Can you? I don't know if you can. I mean, can you like turn your whole computer around?
There.
Yeah, can you see it from there?
See, the problem is I can't see you guys here. Okay, I can see. Yeah. I mean, I can see. Yeah. It's fine.
It's not very clear though. It's small, but that's the outside looking at the attraction on the property. It's 45 feet in the back corner. It's got a gift shop. Let me show you here. As you come in, you will come into the attraction. I can't see what you come in here. You can either go into the Boa Bar, or you can stay in the gift shop and go out onto the Gator Lounge, which is outside. And there is a food truck parked out there belonging to, I've even getting the graphics done now, for, I'm going to turn this back around. The food truck, it's going to be up to the investors whether they go along with what I would think would be fun, is the fact that you could have gator tail on a stick, turtle stew, and then with the gator tail on a stick, you've got a opportunity then, because I worked with Ross Allen in the state of Florida and everything, protecting the alligator. So now all of a sudden we got alligator meat that we can use commercially, and we
Here's
wouldn't
a quick
have
question
otherwise.
for this, because I know people would be wondering this, right? So we're coming to a kind of like a reptile zoo, and then there's going to be, first of all, I love gator, like myself personally, but one of the questions that I think that would be asked automatically, and not to throw things off topic, but it's just a quick question. Where's the gator coming from? Like, people will be like, oh man, we're trying to preserve reptiles, but like, here we are, gator tail. So what, how do you get the gator tail? And
well, Jonathan, I think it's an opportunity to educate the public on the fact that the gators are now commercially raised and not slaughtered, and for the hides and left the meat laying in the swamps. They had to protect them for all those years so the wild population could come back. They still are now becoming, there's even a short hunting season in Florida and Georgia and some of the other southern states. But it's a commodity now that people can enjoy without the wasting and terribly depleting our natural resource as far as the. I think it's just an opportunity to educate people, because I noticed when we go to Florida or down to we go to New Orleans a lot, we always get some gator tail, and people they pack in those places. They want to try it, so it's still,
and it's really good, to be honest. Like, it's really good. I love it myself personally. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. And I actually visited one of the canneries and the producers down in Louisiana. That doesn't, it's not open to the public or anything, but you got grades of it too. And I'll have the top grade and still make nice money on it and still charge a reasonable price. So it's tender and everything. I mean, I tasted it. It's fantastic with their breadings. They got 2 or 3 different kinds of breading, of course. But and then they also have soft shell turtle. And so they do a stew. And I just think that that's an opportunity for the public to have an experience that they normally don't have.
That's going to bring some people. So my question is, okay, so instead of having, and I don't know what the space looks like, I don't know what zoning is going to look like, permits and everything like that, but what about the opportunity of having like your actual in-house, basically, place of feeding, right? Because like one of the big inception things, like, okay, when people think about movie theaters, they don't realize that the only way that movie theaters make money is through the food inside. They don't make money through the tickets, it's through the food. So it's like, I think a big opportunity in this is basically the food aspect, especially if you're going to bring reptile infused stuff where you can actually educate them so they don't feel bad about what they're like eating and such. Like, I think there's a big opportunity in that. Right. So, I mean, have you thought of that, or this was basically a quick solution? It's like, okay, we have to feed people. We could potentially make money from this.
No, this is a big vital the experience to come to the Reptile Garden is the gift shop as well as the Boa Bar. There's no liquor or beer or wine here. This is a soda fountain, cold sandwiches, malts, and get a Pit Viper Fizz or we're gonna have.
I love that. I'm big on names, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is so highly marketable. Like, if you come up with the right names and everything like that, it's so highly marketable. It's fun. It's awesome. Yeah.
When I had my restaurant, that was a signature, and it was a talk of this town for 8 or 9 years, man. But no, the food items are a big deal because the Boa Bar, I'm going to have behind. Now, I don't know if you want to go through all this, but behind the counter, I'm going to have actually 4-walled glass cages with the tree pythons. All the different colors that we can get, and maybe 5 different ones. And you know how they just hang there, and you can feed them. We can take them off, put them back. But I want the children to have a placemat that they can, if they just put a color there, they get 10% off in the gift shop. If they can just put the orange one there and a green thing up here.
Yeah. How cool.
But then once they do that, the parent has to then, they got 10% over here. Let's go over and buy something. But you got it. It's not a trick. It's just, and I'll have lower price stuff for children. You know what I mean? The $2 or $3. But you'll have quality. This is quality stuff today. I mean, I've noticed anywhere we go, that's the big deal. That sells more, the quality shirts and sweatshirts, T-shirts. But here, sweatshirts will sell big time because of our seasons.
Yes.
But,
yes.
So we'll have everything.
So far we have potential money making opportunity on the side of the parking lot. The ticket prices are going to be how much? And is there a difference in prices for like children and toddlers and such?
Yes, all that. I'm right now. I started off thinking and figured all my spreadsheets are figured, and they were all thought very reasonable to SBA and the bank and everybody else at $18. Now that's going to probably end up averaging somewhere around 15 plus tax, because of your discounts for seniors and military and firemen and kids and everything. But then again, we're also going to have VI during the winter months here, because we are seasonal a little. So you do kind of drop off a little bit, and we can have VIP night. See, because we'll be closing, it gets dark early. So we can also, after people have eaten out or whatever, they come, and it's a VIP night where you get a tour through the whole back scenes and behind the scenes. I mean, and
that's cool. That's like, people love the VIP stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got little ideas, neat ideas. Of course, I've been around for so long that I'm actually picked up a lot of interest. People ask the questions, and the same one keeps back. So why don't we just put that behind scenes, because it might take a little more room than outside.
And VIP. What would a VIP ticket go for? And would it be like one tour?
Yeah, well, it could be like $35. It could be, you can get a family of 4 for whatever, discount it down. But an adult could be start at that, where you get a souvenir of some sort, type thing. You know what I mean? I'm really more in tune to talking to the investors about what they think is, because I got a lot of ideas, but are they in tune to what they would spend and think it would be reasonable and whatever? I think I know. Don't get me wrong. I think 35 is a very good price for an adult to give them at least 2 hours of personal touring and whatever. You see what I mean?
Yeah. And how many? And have you done the numbers on what your expectation is? Okay, so I know it's seasonal. Do you have an expectation of how many people will be coming through the doors on a monthly basis, and like what are the highest months, what are the lowest months?
Got it broke down for 3 years running, and the whole thing about giving out the spreadsheets is I can't send them to anybody, you know what I mean, right off the bat, because then they could build a park.
No, of course, you gotta be careful.
But I'm figuring about 148,000 people a year. That's all I need to go through there to make all these figures come out, because they're all accurate. They all work. Now that's at $18, and of course I can tell you right now, according to the bank and the SBA, if they broke those figures in half and charged $9, this is still a profitable deal, and that. Because now that's with the concessions, and the gift shop. You understand what I mean? That's not just we're just a second. Let me reach over here. Just a second.
Yeah. So what I'm looking here is basically this is 405. If you were open 24 day, 365 days a week. A year. That's 405 people a day, basically, that you'd be expecting.
Yeah. Well, here's the revenue first year. Can you see that?
Hold on, I have to check on my phone because it doesn't pop up here. Let me see.
Oh, it don't. Okay.
Yeah. No, I have my phone though up on Facebook, so that for some reason like your picture doesn't show up here, but I can see it there. So I do see. Okay, I do see that there. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I can see that.
All right. And then here is that was revenue. Here's expenses. First year. Can you see it?
Yeah. I'm looking at the revenue right now.
Okay, and that's got the cost of goods and everything. Cost of goods is in the blue.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Now, these figures, like I say, downtown alone, there's, I don't know, anywhere from 3, because you go to Chamber of Commerce, they can inflate it. It seems like, I'm just being realistic with you here. And they can say it's 4 million people in the downtown area. We know, I used to have businesses all through the downtown. I had 5 businesses down there. I had a restaurant, I had a sweetery, I had an arcade, and Maxine's is still open down there. It's the music venue of Hot Springs. But I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the traffic down there. I would estimate the traffic in the downtown to be roughly 3 million people. No sweat. 3 million people will turn around right in the front door of this place. And so I'm using 150, I'm saying 148 actually, 1,000 1 year. You see, that's all I need at 18 to make these figures work.
So that's like, are you, these are the figures with just the, this would be like your average order price per person. You're saying that you're looking at around $18 is what you have it figured at right now.
But, yeah, but I'm thinking it's going to end up somewhere around 15. You know,
here's the thing. The reason I'm asking is because, so one of my companies that I have, and I've looked at this in all the different ventures. Remember, I've had over 20 different companies, and I've helped hundreds of companies with their businesses. And one of the things that I always look at is, that is the front end, kind of like the hook. That's going to be like the main ticket price. So what I'm looking at is on the back end, how much more money can you make per person? So the way that I'm looking at it, let's say that there is going to be like an average cost of $15 or something like that. How can you upsell them enough? Because here's the thing, even if it is 150,000, okay, imagine things don't, the first year obviously is not going to be as crazy. There might be the momentum spike because it's so new and it could like drop down a little bit, or it might take a little bit of time to get awareness. So it might take a little bit longer. So let's just say that we're looking at 50,000 people. So let's just say if that was the case and we have an average order price per person of $15. So how do we get the average order price up to right? So the first thing that comes to mind for me, obviously at the end of the day, is food is going to be number one, right? So how much can you get people to spend on food? And then you'd have to average out how much money you're making, within the food realm of how much that is there. How many people are going to be actually purchasing, let's say, products at the store and T-shirts, and the cooler the stuff, the better. Because
I've got it broken down on my spreadsheets. Absolutely, of it, and the.
So
like
do you have an average order price between all the potential angles and all the different things that you're going to be upselling?
Well, that's what I'm here. I thought the concessions are 39% the total revenue, and 61 on tickets. That's what my spreadsheets reflect.
30. There we go. That makes. There we go. That makes more sense.
And again, I was told by the SBA, because these guys really went over these figures. And matter of fact, the lady that was involved that works at the bank came from Branson, originally with SBA, and she knows attractions. And it was thrilling to be working with this lady, because I was finally talking to somebody that understands attraction. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you could talk to someone that has absolutely no idea and they won't see the potential. So that's why, like, when people are pitching, and this is actually a message to anyone that ever wants to pitch, like, people don't realize that sometimes you have to pitch, like Jeff Bezos was turned down like crazy. What's his name? Jack Ma from Alibaba, one of the biggest companies in the world. Like, he was literally turned down like 100 times. He was turned down so much that like it was ridiculous. And people don't realize it's like sometimes all it is that you're just not pitching the right people. And when you find that one person that is like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for, it changes the entire game.
That's what happened when I was talking to this particular lady at the SBA at the bank. I mean, she flipped out and sold the bank on this. Everybody.
Wow.
When I met with the bank, the bankers were there. There was 3 of them from SBA. Then I had my accountant, I had my architect, I had my attorney, and we all sat there and it went through. And I'm going to tell you this, and I mean, this was said, so anybody out there could call me a liar, but what it said, the bank has already backed this up, but she pushed that package of mine in front of her and said, before we start, I want to tell you, Mr. Mcgee, that we have gone over this and over this. This is the finest, most accurate, and most exciting package I have ever had placed in front of me. Said to me, I did cry. I did start crying. Sorry. I did. I didn't bawl. I just.
No, you know what that is? That's a tear of gratitude right there. That's a tear of gratitude. They're completely different. That's an inspiring moment. You know what I mean? Amazing.
Unbelievable. Because I wasn't out here pushing and shaking bushes or anything over the last year or so. I haven't been doing that. I've been working this thing out as best, to get it so solid that anybody would be just wanting to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And but I wanted this SBA package before I ever really went out here and tried to pitch it. I haven't really tried to pitch it. Most people think that this has already been funded and is ready to start. That's the other. Yeah, they think it's funded. I'm not out here trying to. I've had a few meetings with a group of this investors and that investors, and they're not into the entertainment or this type of venture, and they really get all wrapped up in a lot of things. But if anybody, and like I start talking to the one I have right now, he can't shut up, man. He loves this thing. He just, over in Europe, this thing would be, whatever. But you get what I'm getting
No,
And
no. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, one of the things that I think you're really good at. Let me like point this out. Is like super important, you know, like for anybody that like wants to pitch their ideas and such. One of the things that I love about this project, first of all, is how inspired you are about it. And it looks like you just want to, this is like an enjoyable thing. This is not like just hey, I want to get some money and stuff like that. This is like almost like a mission at hand, and you have a vision for something great that can help out the community, that can be super fun. So like, that's what kind of excites me about this. And it's like, wow, this is an opportunity this is something that people from around the United States can actually go to, and people in the reptile industry would actually like to go to something like this, you know, not just from the local community, but people coming from the outside. And it could attract, and this for the people in the reptile community, this could definitely attract potential shows to come over there, you know, like having more shows. Do you guys have any reptile shows in that area by any chance?
None.
What? Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
To Houston and Dallas and Arlington. I go up to Ohio, Cincinnati.
Man, that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
It'll be coming. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that comes. We've got the convention auditorium.
We
got all of it.
The thing is, you guys could sponsor. You guys could sponsor some.
Don't worry, I'm working on it. You look here. Here's the shirt. Look at this. There's the logo right there. Yeah, an artist do that and work that up. But no, I've got. I mean, I've really put this down in fine tooth, and I really am excited to talk to a serious investor. If I have to come and see them, I'll do it. It doesn't, you know, it's not that kind of thing. But I just want to. I want everybody to understand that this is what you just pointed out to me. This is not a legacy. I don't like that idea that people say, well, this is your legacy, Dennis, all that. Well, that's not what I'm after. I'm after creating a career for my various people. Matter of fact, I flew over Graham, how do you pronounce his last name? Battison. I can always say it's Madison. It's Battison. And
Battison.
Graham from Liverpool, England. I flew him over and interviewed him. And I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm talking to him and looking at him on the internet and everything. I said, you know what? I said, Graham, I'm going to fly you over here because I like you. I want to see if you like hot springs. I want to see if you like the idea. Are you passionate enough to share my vision? And if you are, by gosh, you're going to be right there. You know, and man, he couldn't believe it. I flew him over. Huh? He's a breeder, by the way. Yeah, he short-tailed pythons. And that's how I got kind of to know him. But I got to know him through Randall Berry, who a lot of people know in the field. But Randall had known him or something. And matter of fact, Randall could be my, you know, a consultant anyway, because he's retired from the Little Rock Zoo now. And he comes down a lot. But I want to make, and we've got a list of, I think it's 16 last I saw, of different ones that between Graham and some other suggestions on people that are really interested. I've talked to a couple of them too, but matter of fact, I think we're hiring one of them, no matter what. That lives here in Arkansas. But again, I want these key people to hire the right people. I'm going to be right there to know that too, of course. But I want this thing to go on. I want these people, not that they have to spend the rest of their life here, but that's possible. I mean, that's what I'm trying to make possible here for some.
You need, I would say, like, team and having, like, if everyone can share the same inspired vision. And one of the things that one of our advisor tells us a lot, and I'm big on this too, I tell this to like my teams also, is like keeping the eye on the prize, right? So like, what is the vision of what it is that we're creating here? Where is it exactly that we're going? And having that aligned vision where everyone sees the same exact thing. Like, you know, what is it that you're trying to create here? You know, like create massive awareness for the reptile community, you know, have the local community love this place, you know, some research for like the reptile community, you know, stuff like that. And you have a very similar vision and they're all going for it. Like, you'll keep long lasting relationships there, you know, and at least have very inspired people at the organization that are going to be, you know, loving what they like to do, not just having to come to work to be like, oh, great, I have to go into another day work.
And that's what I'm looking for. And I've already found, I know one for sure that'll, gosh, he's something else. And he knows so many good people. great people, you know, that are,
Yeah. That's
they
the
can't,
start.
you can't break in the field hardly. You cannot get in this field, especially now an attraction's an attraction. Okay. But some attractions are really geared for the employee's future. I mean, they really are. They give you benefits and everything. I mean, there's some good ones. I like St. Augustine Alligator Farm. A matter of fact, I actually lectured there a few times when Ross Allen was there, and I took him to Lake City. But here's what I always say, though: if you can, tourists are short on three things: time, energy, and money. And if you can supply always, and if you can supply two of those things, you have made it big time. If you give them three, buddy, you've really made it. But that time, energy, and money, and that's all about signage, and you can't make it too difficult for them. Today we got all the technology in the world. If they want to have apps and this and that and the other, where they can spend more time at different exhibits and learn more that's there, you know. But I've got a high-tech guy that I've been talking with quite a bit, and he's really gung-ho to help me perfect some of these latest technologies that can help the tourists learn more. And I'm going to do a season pass. I'm going to do all-day passes where they can come back.
Yeah, season pass is going to be vital. That's going to be vital. So Dennis, let's go ahead, and I want to know more about the actual raise, right? So let's tap into that right now. So the other raise that you had, was this done through convertible notes? Did you give direct equity? What did you do for this last raise, and what are you looking to do on this next $2 million? And then can it be broken down? Are you looking kind of like a strategic partner to come in and maybe just, obviously, maybe sometimes the dream is to just have one person come down, or are you going to break that down into potential sections, and you want people, and what's the minimum investment that someone can get into your project?
You know, I really haven't given it a whole lot of thought on that breaking down. I would think.
Sorry, the plane going through right now. Sorry, this is Miami for you right here. Go ahead.
But okay, can I talk yet?
Yeah, you're good. We're good.
But when I say I haven't given it a lot of thought, I don't mean it quite that bluntly. I've thought a bunch about all this, but when you get two, like I have, then you looking for two more. I think that whoever's interested out there needs to make an offer of some sort. I don't know that there's a dollar figure on what will buy you into this, because my $2 million investor is very, very lenient when it comes to understand. He actually don't want to have anything to do with running this thing. I mean, I'm giving you maybe too much information, but he really, maybe I am, but I hope he don't get upset about that. But at the same time, I've gotten to know him so well.
Some investors want to put in the money and they want the work to be done, and then others want to be more part of it. And so that's a normal thing. Then it's not a big deal.
Yeah, is that normal? Okay.
Yeah,
well, it's
normal.
true. What I'm saying there is that even if he may not want anything for the first year and a half, then we're going to sit down with the attorneys that's here and everything with him. We're going to break that down a little bit. It's a little premature in the sense that I can't really say there's a definite dollar figure to get you in, or you won't qualify.
The reason I ask is because different people do different type of raises. So some people are doing like Reg Ds. You'll do a Series A, Series B, and the other part that's important is that sometimes someone has a minimal buy-in. So some companies start, depending on the size of the raise, they'll start at let's say $50,000. Some companies will take as much as $5,000 to $10,000. And it depends what you want, but there's benefits and drawbacks to that, because more people would be able to invest $5,000 to $10,000. But in order to get $2 million, let's say that's the raise that you need, suggesting that the $2 million of the first guy, everything goes fine. I would just say that it becomes a problem, because if you have so many people that you have to respond to, yeah, so that's the reason, and then sometimes that's why they want bigger tranches, or bigger.
Thinking in terms of 250,000 as a minimum. I've had that conversation with my investor that kind of, it's not like we agreed on it, but it was something that we were in agreement with, possibly. But that kind of figure, not the least amount of members or people involved, the better this thing will be. And especially if they're not, my problem was in Alligator Town and it worked finally, but when you had 9 different investors and they didn't know anything about the business and they didn't know anything about the animals, they didn't know anything, it was just a matter of making money. It was really tough developing that park, because every board meeting was fighting over dollars and pennies about this and that. Well, you have to have this. You can't not have that. You've got to have that. When they come in, they're expecting this and that, So it became a real hassle for quite a while there. But
here's another idea. Here's another idea that popped up for me, because this actually looks like a pretty good idea for this. So pitch is actually, we're on the way to, and we're just getting through a lot of legal hurdles because we have to deal with securities issues and everything like that. But we're on the way to becoming a crowdfunding platform, right? And we have some ridiculously cool, like really cool technologies coming out. One of the missions is for us to actually be able to, so pretend we're having the pitch right now as we speak. One of the things that we want to do is that we'll be able to do crowdfunding for your project as you pitch. Literally live. Okay, so that's what we want to do, and so much so that we're coming out with a big announcement in the next week or two. We've been kind of like pushing it back because we've had a lot of talk with lawyers and everything like that with legal to make sure we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. But crowdfunding is becoming huge. So the idea just popped up for me. This is a really perfect opportunity actually for crowdfunding. And one of the things that just came up to mind, and I'm just throwing the idea out, you have the way that you do stuff, but like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, in the future, Pitch Investors Live, one of the things that you could do is the exchange. The way that they do it on Kickstarter and Indiegogo is that they exchange like basically their services or a product. So an idea that came up is like having packages with the tickets and the food itself, and then being able to sell those to the community. And guess what? You can actually sell those all over the United States, and people are basically supporting you, which is what it's all about. And then secondly, you're basically pre-selling your tickets and you don't have to give up equity. So that's like, I'm saying like, and all it really takes, to be honest, for it to go viral, because I know as a fact, and if there's anyone in the reptile community hearing this right now, and then you think that you would want to be part of this, you should reach out to Dennis about this, because I know that the reptile community would get behind something like that to basically help support, and then you sell basically tickets ahead of time, and that can help you get some of the funding going ahead of time, and then also bring massive awareness to the project. Okay, so that came to me, and I'm like, wow, and all it really needs is a good video. Like, it's basically, because to me, honestly, like, you inspired me by like the story that I just love. Like, when I hear people that are passionate, when they're like super inspired, and you could tell that they love what they do, I totally love that. And if you could show that type of enthusiasm, like on a video, get a professionally done video, show your past, show why you're doing it, what it's going to look like, and you put that on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I believe it'll get a lot of organic reach just because of the reptile community backing you, and then backing up with some big names and stuff in the reptile community. I think that would be key too. So, that's just an idea that popped up that I was like, I just see a huge opportunity in that.
I'll agree with you on that. It's a fantastic idea, and I can see the reptile community really backing that and getting excited. Gosh, that's would have never dreamed that, but that is a really good thing for this type of business. Yeah. Any business, actually. I mean,
no, big time. But there's certain work better for it, and to me, like, this is a perfect opportunity in general. So with that being said, I want to finalize with some few last questions. Got to get headed out here. So I love what I'm hearing. Sounds like an amazing opportunity. Sounds like you have an awesome endeavor in front of you. Like, to me, the most important part is, that you are basically super inspired by what you're doing. You got your numbers. That's always so important. People like to see that. Like, I'm a big numbers guy myself. I have to see like how does it actually look. I come more from like a marketing background and everything like that. So I'm always looking at the site of, is it highly marketable? Is it something that people want? And is it something that we can make money on? Right. So it's like, this is something we can make money on. And then the thing that comes up for me is how to bring that average ticket value up as much as possible to try to see if you can get an average of, like, let's say if you could get up to like $30 average ticket price per person, I could see that being tremendous, and I see it actually being possible. It's just you got to do the business inception that I was talking about with like figuring out how to do that and bring it up as much as possible, and bringing down obviously the cost to a good amount of price while still keeping the quality, because I think quality of the people that are in there is going to be vital. The quality of the food is going to be vital. The branding on top of it is vital, because they're going to share it with people. It's like you have to have that that theme. Is like Disney, almost like thinking a little bit like Disney, how they go over and beyond. Like you want them to leave and they'll like, wow, that was an experience, and I will come back. I am going to get the season tickets or the 1-year ticket and such. Sure. So here are my questions. So in the current stance right now, so how does it look like if someone wanted to basically get into this project or wanted to see more about what you have going on? How can they reach out to you, Dennis? Like, what is the best way to reach out to you and such?
It's on Dr. Magee.
It's under Dr. Magee 41 at gmail.com.
All right, so let's repeat that one more time. So is it Dr. Magee? How do you spell Magee?
Magee 41 at gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. So that's one way that someone can basically reach out to you and everything like that. Okay, so here's my thing. So a lot of the projects that I personally like to invest in, that I invest in, and I have invested in last year, is basically e-commerce. I've invested in a tech company. So tech company is like another one. Like I love tech companies and everything like that. Here's the thing I love, and I've actually invested into a lot of reptile companies, and I've had joint ventures in the past, and people know me in the reptile industry. Like, I was the owner of Reptile Webmasters. I was the owner of Breeder Circle. I was the owner of Herp Life, which is a lifestyle brand in the community. So like I've had a lot of endeavors in general, and I say joint JVs with a lot of people. And basically one of the things for me that like sounds awesome in this project is like to make sure that the branding is really cool. So for me, are you losing me now? What about now?
Back now. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, let me repeat that. So like I've just been part of a lot of different projects, let's just say in the reptile community, also invested with other people into their projects and such. Like a lot of people in the industry will know me, just have joint ventures and stuff like that. Like I was all over the place and it was fun. It was just like, I was just having fun with it all. So something of this caliber, I mean, what interests me is possibly to see if I can help you guys with some branding. Okay, so like that, to me, I since I'm a big advocate of the reptile community, I mean, I still help. We have a marketing agency that backs all our stuff, which was the one in the reptile community was called Reptile Webmasters. Then I had Digital Age Business, which basically was a marketing agency that now backs a bunch of our different, it's more like now it's the umbrella corporation to a bunch of companies that we like facilitate of our own now. But I just like helping people in the community. So like what comes up to me is that I would love to potentially help you guys out with some branding. So that's something that we could talk about off screen. So that's something that I would. At this moment, I would not be investing into the company. But what I do like, and it's almost like an investment because we charge a lot of money. We've worked with Coca-Cola, like Cisco, Pepsi. We've worked with some of the biggest companies in the world, my teammates and I. So we have like top notch when it comes to that type of stuff, but we don't take clients anymore. So I like this project so much that I would love to do that. And actually what I'm going to do too is I'm probably going to throw some traffic just because I like this. And this is more out of like, I like the project that you're doing, like I really thoroughly enjoy that you love what you're doing. And for that reason, we're also going to run some traffic to this actually pitch right here, like into the reptile community and everything like that, just because I love it so much. So that's something that I'm going to do for you also. So I'm super excited about what you have going on. Now that we have this pitch out to the world, like I would love, let's take the conversation outside and I can see what I can offer you guys. Like, and this is basically going to be on the house. I'm not going to charge you any money or anything like that. I just love what you're doing. So this is going to be, I just want to get maybe free entry to the park when like, the time comes and I bring my family and stuff like that. That's all I want, so like, it's exciting, so like, I love it, so let's talk offline with that. And,
even comp you at some of the hotels too.
Yeah. However,
I've got connections around. Don't worry.
Good. So do me a favor, Dennis, leave one last message to everyone that's actually going to watch this pitch, right? So tell them why is it that you're doing, and very short, like what was it that spawned you to basically come and do something so amazing, you know, and to bring this to the community and everything like that? What spawned you to do this? And a last message to people about like maybe why they should come to this like theme park that you're creating, this reptile theme park, if you want to call it.
Well, it's a passion of my whole life. It's a culmination of my interest and my excitement and meeting the most wonderful people in a lifetime that deal with animals. They're probably some of the nicest people in the world. I don't know. But at the same time, I've been blessed in so many different ways that I would love to share a lot of the exciting ideas that I've seen work in the past, that the public gets excited about, and they thank me in various ways. I still get cards from people maybe 20 years ago that come in my restaurant, and I'm standing there talking to them about reptiles. And but I can't tell you how many hundreds of people didn't know that about my background, because I'm a developer, an entrepreneur, and that, you know. And they all of a sudden they get a little personal. And if all of a sudden you're a snake man, you know, or something. And but it's an exciting for tourists. Tourists are looking for this exciting thing. A lot of people think, well, snakes, well, who wants to go see snakes, you know? Well, that's not the way it is anymore with all the TV shows and the Steve Irwins and the whatevers. You know, it has really gotten exciting for the public and the children. They want to see some of these animals up close and personal. And this is, again, is not the old snake pit thing where you're grabbing a snake and milking it and things like that. This isn't that kind of entertainment. This is where you can educate them about why they did that and what it's about, the milk of snake and whatever. A lot of that, of course, is a danger involved when a human is in front of you working with them, you know. But we'll have personal things happening. I've got a lot of little shows and the little neat ideas that I'd love to share. But what are we talking about, honey?
You can go to
And
YouTube.
then tell us why people should come. Like when this is built and everything like that, and why anyone also that would want to invest into this. Like why, Dennis?
Well, it is going to be so uniquely done and so up to date that people will be comfortable. The new generation, the millennials, and they'll be comfortable walking in that door, and they'll recognize the fact that whoever's developing this is really getting into detail. They're really thinking about this thing from doorknobs to you name it. This is an exciting adventure, even for the eyes. It's a visual excitement. Not just because once you can get their attention, you can educate them, you know, and it's so exciting to me to see. And anytime somebody picks up an animal, that you get somebody's attention, so you can educate them a little bit pretty quick. I mean, that's always been a crowd stopper. Just pick up something and start talking about it, an animal of some sort. But reptiles seem to be very, very unique in the fact that they will bring a crowd that want to hear about them because they don't know much about them. And generally they don't, let's put it that way. You got turtle people, you got lizard people, and don't know anything about snakes so much, you know, and whatever. And but they will, you know, when you mentioned bringing conventions here and stuff, I know it'll work here in this town. This is a tourist town. We got a racetrack, we got casinos, we got, you know, it's everything you want, from lakes to the national park. You're here, you know, the Ouachita Mountains and the thermal waters. It's all right down the street from me, 2 blocks. The thermal waters running out of the mountain there. It's just a beautiful town to come to, much less a unique attraction. And I'm going to promise anybody watching this is going to be so uniquely done and so exciting. And I think these are time-tested, beautiful things that are going to happen here that I can't just share them with everybody. Somebody might open one of these up and start using my ideas, or have one that.
Here's the thing. Let me repeat something, and this is for everyone too listening, especially like entrepreneurs. Like sometimes people are afraid of others taking their ideas, and I would have to say that you are probably not going to find many people that are inspired or as passionate as you are in this development and that are far along with the experience that you are. So if anyone even likes the idea and they're like, holy smokes, I wish I could start something like that, the best thing that they would ever have to do is actually team up with you, like sell you on why they should be part of this. Like, what would they have to give and stuff like that? That's like how I see it. People don't realize that many times is that they're sometimes afraid to share their ideas with the world. And it's like, it's good to get feedback, and you never know, you might just enroll someone in the vision and creation of what you're trying to do. So like that's my thoughts on it.
Well, that's time tested with me also. I mean, I give away ideas when I'm down, when I was entrepreneuring and building things and businesses. I was sharing ideas. They didn't even get architects. They had dentists for nothing. I mean, I would go in and start helping them put up their shop and design a little stuff for their window. All that for nothing. I mean, and my wife, she's sitting right here, but she'd say, honey, why are you telling these people how to do all that? You're not even charging them anything, Well, because they can't, the idea is in my head. They can't they don't have the vision for that. They can't visualize it. So I just wanted to, this is a really neat idea, so I'm going to share it with them. And if they took it, man, they were thrilled with it. In most cases, not that I'm so great or anything. I'm just saying that the visionary is really, he can share anything with people because only he could build what he's describing and that they get excited about.
And it keeps going. It keeps going, right?
To level. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there. But I'm not
so awesome, Dennis. Let's give basically one last shot at anyone that wants to get in contact with you. So if you can, just give your your information, and possibly, I don't know if you have a website or somewhere else other than like a Gmail that they could contact you. So anyone that's
well, YouTube is the Hot Springs Reptile Garden. I have a 8-minute fly through that flies all around it. You've seen it probably.
Yeah.
Super cool. And all that. So that's one thing. And of course, I think my name is on there and phone number. So
perfect.
So
cool.
The YouTube thing one. Right. But Dr. Mcgee, Magee 41 @gmail.com. And other than that, I don't know what else I can say.
Perfect. Yeah, no. So thank you, Dennis. So we're going to wrap up right here. With me, I will not be investing in the company, but I got so inspired by this that basically I'm going to be talking with Dennis outside to basically throw some marketing just on the house, basically for him, probably worth like a few $1,000s. So to me, it's like, I like to give back. I love to give back. And when it's something that can help out community and I see someone that's so inspired by their mission, that's what I want to do. We're also going to, like I said, we're going to throw some marketing budget behind this just to throw it out to the community so more and more people can see what you're doing. I love that so much. So remember, guys, like Pitch Investors Live is the only app in the world that allows entrepreneurs, startups to basically pitch investors live. Dennis just had this opportunity. Now thousands of people are going to see this. Where does that happen, guys? It's like amazing what's happening right now. The world is changing so much. I love that Dennis says that he's going to make sure it stays up to date with technology and everything when he opens the facility, because that's what it's about. Technology is revolutionizing our world. So thank you, Dennis, for coming on to pitch. I loved hearing everything. Stayed on here for basically an hour and 10 minutes. It was only supposed to be a 20, 30-minute pitch. And that's how much you grabbed my attention, inspired me. So I hope it did the same thing for others. And thank you, Dennis. You have a great one. Appreciate you very much. And good luck on your journey. And let's chat offline. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan, very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Take it easy, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's going to chat with us or not.
Not here.
What's wrong?
No, nothing. I was nervous.